Our lives are laid out on a road of bumps, turns, struggles, and more. How do we respond? How do we endure adversity for learning and growth? I'm Aubrey Johnson, and we'll explore these questions and more on the road to rediscovery. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Road to Rediscovery. I'm your host, Aubrey Johnson. The Road to Rediscovery is about reflecting on life lessons to learn and grow from them, and of course, uplift others, take it to the next level, and help these people who are struggling through dark times. Now, as a quick reminder, you can listen to the Road to Rediscovery on any platform that you get your podcasts. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, we invite you to leave a rate and review. Otherwise, shoot us an email at road to rediscovery podcast at gmail.com. That's road to rediscovery podcast at gmail.com. And we'll give you a shout out in a future episode. All right. Now, my special guest is on a serious mission, a 5M movement mission, which is to connect with 5 million souls, one vibe at a time, through positive energy, through various means, including his platform as creator and host of the Sexy Cool Lounge podcast. As vast as this universe is, I just want to share with you personally, as vast as this universe is, I am humbled and blessed that God has enabled us to connect as brothers in podcasting and vibing brothers in positive energy. Get ready for a deep, heartfelt, uplifting conversation as we introduce Mr. Jimmy IV to the show. Jimmy, brother, welcome to the show, man. I couldn't wait to get you on here, brother.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm doing better now, man, thanks to you. So let's get this popped off, right? So
Absolutely.
I heard you mention, if you don't mind, I'm going to go there first with this first question, okay? I heard you mention various times in various episodes and in conversations that you and I have had that your father was and is your hero, right?
Yes.
And both your mother and father set the example for you to follow when you became grown and had to face this world as an adult. But what other inspiring elements played a role in your life with moving in the direction with purpose to connect and spread positive energy?
Have to say my grandmama.
Yes. Yeah.
My grandmama was old school, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my daddy, my hero, was old school. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But his mother, my grandmama, was old school.
Yeah.
She would give you the shirt off of her back, and she had the biggest heart, right?
Yeah.
She wasn't one to play with.
Mm-mm.
As long as you understood that, everything was good, right?
Yeah.
You needed money, she gave it to you. You need food, she'd give it to you. You need a place, come on, we'll get you a pillow, we'll get you a blanket, make it happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there was tough love, but there was always love. Like, there's never been a moment in my life growing up that there was not abundance of love. Okay. So part of my mission is to reach out to as many people in this world that I can who are unfortunate in a situation to where they don't either know, have experienced, or feel loved in the way that I was from pretty much the moment that I was born until now.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people. I mean, we take that abundance of love for granted sometimes because we've always had it, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes we got to pay it forward. Sometimes we got to think of others. And I think sometimes when I do that, it also brings a sense of gratitude in the sense of not forgetting what I have experienced in my life. And now it's time for me to give back to those who need it, those that feel like they can't find it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh
So
yeah.
there's where that comes from, brother.
Beautiful. I'm digging it. And trust me, I can all too well relate to old school and old schooler between my parents and my grandparents. You know, it's uh look, children today can't relate to that now, right? Even young adults today, they can't relate to that.
That is true.
It was a different world, it was a different way of upbringing, and hey, we turned out all right.
We
You
did.
know,
We
right?
did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, Jimmy. Well, man, on your show, and I've listened to a lot of episodes. Okay, I think you're what about 80, 85 in, something like that.
At the time that we're taping this,
Mhm.
we are 87
Man,
episodes, 87 episodes in, 57 countries and about 569 cities worldwide with downloaded episodes, brother.
man, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Widespread vibes, positive energy, and just navigating the universe in the positive way, moving people in the right direction, man. I'm digging that in a big way. I have ever since episode 1, man. So, like I said, I've listened to a lot of your episodes, your solo episodes, your episodes with guests,
Mhm.
and you've had a lot of amazing guests on the show. I mean, they share some incredible insights. Um, there was a divorce coach I think
Yeah,
you had on there that
yeah,
I listened to, and she kept it real. In some cases, unions and marriages, don't work, and it's not just how do you get past the divorce, but how do you surge on with your
yeah.
own life, right? And not have guilt or shame and those things. But that's just a quick example of just some of the amazing guests that you've had on your show, man. Um, and your solo episodes have been very, very insightful as well. And I've picked up a lot from your solo episodes personally, brother. And one of the main reasons I believe the universe told me that I should have you on the show is to share these thoughts to the listeners who are going through tremendous struggles,
Mhm.
low self esteem, self doubt, and
Yeah,
a lot more. I'd love for you to explain how can they discover their vibe, right, and reclaim that power. But first, for the benefit of the listeners, I like to lay the foundation, right?
right.
Can you break down what is a person's vibe and what it means to radiate your vibe? If you can
Absolutely.
break that down first, and then maybe some insights on how people struggling can reclaim their vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. So your vibe is that positive energy force. We all have it. Okay.
Hmm.
As humans, we all have that positive energy vibe.
Hmm.
Some of us have it more pronounced than others, and we are aware of it, but we all have it, right? And as you start to cultivate your positive energy or your vibe, people gravitate to that. And if
Hmm.
you and when I start to give these examples, people are like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying now." Yeah. Ever
Hmm.
had a situation where people just connect with you from the beginning?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's part of your vibe. That's your energy that they are resonating with
Mhm,
to the fullest. Okay.
mhm,
It's
mhm,
almost like you've known them from another time, even though you really don't know them. They know
mhm,
your energy, right?
mhm,
Because it's on
mhm.
the same frequency level, right?
Right,
The
right.
more you start to understand your frequency, your positive frequency,
Mhm,
the more you can radiate it out into the universe. Okay. So it's first understanding your vibe. We all
mhm,
have a vibe. We all
mhm.
have energy that we project out to others. You either have the negative or you have the positive.
Right.
And we have a little bit of both, but you always try to want to work more with obviously the positive than the negative. There are some people that just are always negative. That's
Yeah.
just their mainstream. You
Mhm,
understand what I'm saying?
mhm,
My mission is to try to help those who want more positive energy or vibes in their life. They just don't know how. It could be their environment. It could be that they're around certain people and they just don't know how to remove themselves from certain people or certain energies, if you will. All right. So there's where your energy comes from, your vibe. All right. Now, I think the other part of your question was, once we recognized it, how do we radiate it? Right. You radiate it through gratitude. You radiate it through understanding self-love and self-awareness. You radiate it by understanding your self-worth. Now, that's a phrase that's used a lot, but some people really don't understand the true meaning of self-worth, right? You find yourself in certain situations that are either disrespectful to you or that you wouldn't tolerate. But sometimes we do tolerate it. Then the question becomes, well, why are you tolerating it if you know that that's not what you expect back to you, right?
Right.
So when you understand what your self-worth is and you are really on point with your self-love, right? Not the love that you give to other people. It is the self-love, right? And you are really in tune with that. Then you are more in tune and you understand the value of your worth. And that confidence in itself is then what helps radiate your vibe, okay, out into the universe. Once you start maximizing radiating your vibe out into the universe, you will be amazed the positive energy that comes back to you. The universe, in my opinion, mirrors what you want to put out into the universe. Now, I'm not talking about all scenarios. I'm talking about just the vibe that you put out sometimes. Okay. You put out a negative vibe, you tend to get negative vibes back. Okay. Start truly putting out positive vibes. Now, I'm not just saying say positive vibes. I'm saying you have to radiate. Your frequency has to be on such a level that it is no mistaking that I have a phrase that says, your vibe introduces you before you walk into the room, right? That's not a conceited thing. Has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with how magnetic your energy is. And some people hear it and it kind of goes in one ear and comes out the other. But once you've experienced it, once you start to see the difference between what your energy was before and then what it is now and what it is growing into, then all of this that I'm saying to you starts to resonate in such a whole different way, and it has a different value structure for you moving forward. And then you're motivated, you're inspired because you see the moons and the planets lining up differently than what they were before. And it's all coming from within you. It's not something that someone is giving you. It's starting with you. It's the way you wake up in the morning. It's the way that you continue to just love yourself. Discover yourself. How about that? Take time for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know me. Like, if for those that follow me on social media, every Wednesday, what is it? It's dinner and a movie, date night with me, myself,
and I. That's right.
I give so much into the universe through the podcast and then just through everything else that I chose Wednesday as my moment to take 2 hours for myself. I shut my phone down. I'm not on social media. I don't do anything with the podcast, nothing. That is my moment from usually 7 to 9 or 7:30, 9:30, quarter to 10. That's my time to eat whatever I want to eat. I usually do a really nice meal. That's the one day out of the week that I just will splurge. I have a really nice drink and I watch a movie of my choice and then I put it on social media. The point is that I'm trying to just continue to put out into the universe that you have to take time for yourself. Now, you may not do it as or do it on that level, right? But the point is, do something somewhere within the course of 7 days that you've said, I've given to myself. And the more you do that, the more you become aware of how important that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then everything else snowballs from there. The consistency of it, like every
Right.
Wednesday, that is
Right.
what I do. I will pick a movie. I will make myself a nice drink, just like I'm on a date with someone.
Yeah.
I'm just dating myself for 2 hours.
Yeah. No, I totally see that. And and you know, I it warms my heart. I smile and and I just lift you up, brother, whenever I see that post, you
Mm,
know, a
yeah.
date with me, myself, and I. You talk about the movie, you know, a brief synopsis of what it's
Mhm.
about. You give us the, you know, the rundown on your meal and the rundown on your cocktail. You know, and oh, man, your entire response that you just laid down for us right here, brother. Your entire response, forget nuggets. You had boulders of insights. Okay. That's how I took it. First thing, talking about and fully defining the vibe, crystal clear for the listeners.
Yeah.
Okay. Talking about the vibe, it's your energy, right?
It is your
And
energy.
then,
Absolutely.
yeah,
We all have
100%.
it. We all have the energy, brother. It's like
Hmm.
it amazes me sometimes when I talk to people or things that I do on the podcast.
Hmm.
But when in reflection of it, right, it
Hmm.
amazes me how many people are so much not aware of their own energy because they're caught up in so much chaos. They're
Yeah.
caught up in so much drama. They're
Yeah.
caught up in so much of other things that have no value to their purpose or their growth. But they've been conditioned. They've started to normalize
Yeah.
that whole process. And they wonder why they look at where they are today versus where they were yesterday, and they're in the same place. They're
Same
feeling
place.
the same way. And then
Mhm.
that feeling of same way becomes normal. And
In
I'm
their
trying
world.
in their world, absolutely.
Yeah.
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 So all I'm trying to do in this universe is say, hey, you know, let's 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 continue the growth. Let's continue the love. Let's
Yes.
continue to work on ourselves through our journey. And hopefully
Mhm.
by doing that, we can continue to put positive energy into the universe, right?
Right on, 100%. And I also love what you shared earlier, you know, for people who are struggling, who do have challenges, who are going through some very dark days and some tough times, you know, how can they reclaim their power? How can they discover that their vibe, right? Through gratitude, through
Uh,
self-awareness, right? And so you know, you don't leave that hanging for 1 minute. It's clear these are ways in which you can reclaim your power and discover your vibe. And then, you know, once you start doing that, to your point earlier about the snowball effect, the domino effect, the more progress and traction you gain, the larger and larger and larger it gets. And then you see momentum. You've also shared insights, brother, of being intentional,
yeah,
moving with purpose,
moving with purpose. Yeah.
self-care, me, myself, and I. I mean, look, I mean, you're not just preaching it, you're living it.
Bro,
And that's what
yeah,
you got to do in being the example, right?
no, it is 24/7 with me every day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, let's not get it twisted. There are days when I'm not always at my best,
Oh,
right?
sure.
I'm
Yeah.
a human. I put my pants on the same way everybody else does, right?
Hmm.
But I don't let those days or moments truly put me off kilter
Right.
because I understand and I've been on that side of the tracks, if you will, of being
Hmm.
off kilter or something happened to me in the morning and it has
Hmm.
affected me all day long,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, energy is precious. Energy is currency, right?
Hmm.
And when you start to look at your energy as currency, what do we do with our money? We put it in a bank. You know, most of us try to save it,
Yeah.
right? We spend it wisely.
Hmm.
For the most part. I mean, some of us, are not like, brother like you and can just, drop money at the drop of a hat,
Oh, come
right?
on now.
You know what I'm saying? But my point is, when we start to look at your energy, your vibe,
Yeah.
and how we spend it, who we allow to be around it, and the
Yeah.
way we um, use our energy around people or situations, right?
Yeah.
Once we start to really understand that, then we're a little bit more protective of our
Yes.
energy. We don't let
Yes.
dumb, I call it dumbness, okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
or drama,
Hmm.
or the gossip,
Hmm.
okay.
Hmm.
Um, we don't let any of that stuff like run in our circles.
Yeah.
Wasted energy. I don't have energy to waste. Like, we all are on a pitch count. We
Yeah.
all are on a time clock,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Every day matters. Every moment matters. I'm not saying that we got to take life always so seriously. No, I mean, I can laugh and joke with the best of them. You know that, bro.
Oh yeah.
But when it comes to my energy, I don't play.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's
Don't,
precious.
it is precious. It's
Yeah.
currency. It is,
Yeah.
it is what you are. Your energy is you.
Yeah.
So make the most of it. Continue to keep it positive. And if you're struggling, the best suggestion that I can give you is take one step at a time. Get through today. Get through this moment.
Yeah.
Be and the gratitude is always there. No matter what's happening,
Hmm.
there's something to be grateful for. And if you really feel like there's nothing to be grateful for, I will give you this. You woke up. You are breathing. Okay.
That's right.
There are a lot of people in this world who didn't wake up today.
That's right.
A lot of people who took their last breath 30 seconds ago.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when you start to at least just say, okay, I'm alive and I'm breathing, okay, that's a baby step. That is gratitude. That is you being thankful for it could be worse, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we start
Yeah.
from there and we just continue to multiply that and stay consistent with multiplying that.
Hmm.
And then that's where your vibe gets stronger, your confidence, the belief in yourself starts to grow. And the more that all of those things are conjuring themselves up, you know, in the bottle, then you start to radiate outwards and it then becomes a beautiful thing. And then everybody can just watch you shine and watch you burn in this universe.
Yeah, I can dig it, man. In fact, as you were saying that, it was reminding me of one of your episodes that of the many episodes that I've listened to on your show. I think it's called "Sometimes the Person You Want Doesn't Deserve You."
Yeah.
And one of the most profound things, at least it hit me like right in the middle of the eye, right between the eyes, man. And it made so much sense. One of the things you said on that episode, if and I'm paraphrasing, I might get it wrong. I apologize, but it's when you say if they don't do their part, they're not worth your heart, or
Yeah.
something like that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's deep. That's deep. And not only are you teaching people and being the example of, finding your vibe, discovering your vibe, reclaiming claiming that power, and using your energy wisely in the way that you want to, that is productive. Okay, not only are you teaching people that and the meanings and the importance of that, but also how to fend off against that negative energy, right? The
Absolutely.
toxic relationships, the codependencies.
Mhm.
And as much as I hate to say it, you know, close friends that you grew up with that went in a different direction,
Mhm.
you know?
Or the close friends, not all of them, but some of them, right?
Yeah,
Who don't want you to continue to grow
right.
because they're not growing in the direction that you're growing. And that's not
Hmm.
just friends, brother. That is sometimes significant others,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, and
Mm.
I think what happens, and again, this is just my opinion, but we get caught up so much on emotional history.
Yeah.
Right. And that's good to an extent. But there are times when you have to realize, and there are times when you have to make, I didn't say need to, there are times when you have to make executive decisions
Oh,
that are
sure.
in your best interests,
Mm-hmm.
not y'all's, not theirs, yours.
Yep.
And sometimes emotionally, we aren't in a place to make executive decisions that we know we should be making, right?
Right. Right.
And part of my mission is to identify those opportunities, right?
Yeah.
And understand that sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes you're going to break your own heart in making decisions that you know are in the best interest of your mental wellness.
Yep.
And we have to be strong enough to do that. And sometimes we're not. Sometimes we'd rather sacrifice not making that decision, but live in turmoil and allow some situations to just be so negative to us because we don't want to be strong enough to make the executive decision.
Right. Right. That outside societal conventions, um, there's usually a popular decision and there's an unpopular decision. In a lot of cases, that executive decision that you have to make can tend to be on that unpopular side where everyone else is like, "Oh man, why are you deciding to do that? Why are you doing this?" And you're thinking to yourself, "Man, everybody's coming down on me. I mean, am I making the right decision?" And then you have that heart to heart, and it's like, you know, this may be unpopular. A lot of people may not like it, but I gotta protect what's mine. I gotta
Or,
protect myself.
or sometimes we say it to ourselves. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, sometimes I did an episode about 2 episodes ago, and I talked about scarcity mindset, right?
Hmm.
The feeling of feeling selfish for prioritizing ourselves, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, how many times have you ever heard somebody say, "Oh, I don't really want to leave so and so, because I don't want to be by myself." Not that so and so wasn't good for them, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It wasn't anything like that. What you heard was, "I don't want to leave, or I don't want to deal with the end factor because I don't want to be alone," right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So what I'm trying to address is, why don't you want to be alone? Why would you rather knowingly sit in this situation than to make an executive decision and say, I will be happy on my own because my
Right.
happiness and my
Yeah.
self-love is part of my priority, nobody else's,
Mm, exactly.
right?
Yeah, yeah. And if you don't do it, who will?
Who will?
Yeah.
Part of our growth in life, in this universe, part of the growth is not only doing things um, for the good of ourselves, but also knowing when certain things aren't good for ourselves. And
Hmm.
we're strong enough, mature enough, and confident enough to make those executive decisions when they need to be made. Right.
That's right. That's
I
right.
think I think if we kind of like step back and took a breather and realized, okay, maybe something was good for 12 months, maybe something was good for 6 months, maybe something was good for 5 years. Okay. Had a good run.
Hmm.
But not everything in this world was meant to last.
Right.
There's a difference between fantasy and real life. And when your self-worth, when your value, when all of those things are being compromised, disrespected, um, someone's not bringing the same energy to the table that you're bringing to the table,
Right.
it's time to start considering some executive decisions.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that's really what Sexy Cool Lounge is all about, is just bringing awareness, bringing a togetherness, bringing people together on this journey and continuing to grow every single day so that we, they, I can just continue to become the best versions of ourselves every single day. And sometimes becoming the best version of ourselves means that we need to make some executive decisions with things that do not serve our purpose and our best interest, or are in the best interest of our mental health.
100%. 100%. I'm in line with that. I dig it fully, brother. I try to live that as much as I can. And that is a resounding message for your listeners. It's a resounding message now for my listeners as you share that. And man, I tell you, energy is precious and time is short.
It is.
Right. So, we have to make the best of our energy, put it in the places where we feel it benefits us and is productive and spreads positive vibes throughout the universe. So I appreciate you sharing that insight, brother. I really do. And, with your podcast and my podcast, we both have great guests on the show.
Mhm.
And we both also share our own personal journeys in different lessons from our lives that we've, from different events and parts of our lives that we've gone through. And so, that's what I do in my solo episodes. I talk about the lessons I've learned. I try to be self-aware and very reflective in these lessons that I've learned and how I apply it to my life and growth and helping other people. So I can't help but think, man, that your solo episodes are also inspired by your life events, your
Yeah,
journey,
absolutely.
lessons,
Yeah,
and so forth.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's that.
I'll give you one.
Mhm.
So personal experience, life lesson. Uh, I did an episode, episode 31. It's called Once in a Blue Moon, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And the reason I bring that to the table is it kind of is in alignment with Road to Rediscovery, right?
Mhm.
Road to Rediscovery is you have a lesson that came up somewhere on your journey that for some reason you either were nonchalant about, you didn't pass it, and it came up again somewhere in life, right?
Mhm.
So I bring that up to say, yeah, there are a lot of personal experiences, personal thoughts, in a lot of my personal solo episodes. So that one in particular, the lesson for me in that, right, was understanding my toxic, how do I want to say it? My toxic enabling. How about that? All right.
Okay. All right.
And there were things that I saw, there were things that I knew were going on,
Mhm.
and the universe gave me red flags, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I chose not to appreciate those red flags, right? Sometimes when you see red flags, they are indicators of things that you might want to just say, do I really want to deal with this? Is this really for me?
Right. Oh
Right.
yeah. Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
But I thought that, my heart was bulletproof. And I said, yep, I see him. I'll deal with him. Yeah, I'll address him. Keep moving with that person. Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
And universe said, oh, okay. Yeah. Right. A couple of months later, universe come back and say, hey, Jimmy IV, how's everything going? You good? I'm like, yeah, everything's good, universe. Really? Oh, here's another red flag, right? So over a
Mhm.
course of time, there's so many red flags, right? And at some point, the universe says, listen, I've given you enough red flags on a situation that I'm looking out for you. And since you do not want to look out for yourself, clearly, I now have to take things to another level. So the
Mhm.
universe took things to another level. I did not get off the exit ramp when I should have, clearly through all of the red flags. Okay. My lesson. So the lesson came back to me tenfold. So after, you get your heart broken
Right.
and you end up having to burn, I call it, I call it vibrational burning, right?
Yeah.
So you burn yourself down to its core of ashes,
Mm.
right? And then you are reborn like a phoenix
Mm-hmm.
vibrationally.
Mm-hmm.
You you're just reborn. You have
Mm-hmm.
a vibrational awakening, is what I
Mm-hmm.
call it, right? To
Mm-hmm.
where you rise again like a phoenix. Over time, it ain't overnight, right? But you will rise again like a phoenix.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
you do, you are stronger, you are wiser, you have clearer perception on things. But there has to come a point in time when you burn. And the universe chose to make that my road to rediscovery, if you will. Had I not gone through that, I would not be the person that I am today. I had to
Mm.
experience that. I had to be broken,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know. And some people may say, what is he talking about? Sometimes you just have to be broken in order to come back stronger.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, and the universe broke me in that situation,
Mm-hmm.
and I came back stronger. And I know now what my self-worth is, even more so now than I did then. Had I continued to stay on that particular journey, I would not. So I'm grateful to the universe in teaching me that lesson one
Mm-hmm.
way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, look at where I am, look at what's going on, look at the positive energy that's even stronger through a vibrational frequency than what it was prior to that episode, right?
Right. No, that's right, man.
And
Break you down to build you up.
break you down to build you up, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully through my transparency on that episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
personal transparency, because
Mm-hmm.
prior to that episode I didn't really talk too much about the personal side of me. I
Right.
just
Right.
had things that I needed to say to my audience and to the world, but that one resonated in a way that I had to like take it in a whole different direction for good
Mm-hmm.
reasons and therapeutic reasons for me, not only as a person, but also as a podcaster. you
Sure.
know I needed
Yeah.
to develop in that type of way. But the point I'm making is that there are times in your life where you have to burn to ashes, vibrationally
Mm-hmm.
speaking,
Mm-hmm.
and rise again like a phoenix and be stronger, be more aware. Your senses are just so much on a whole different level, and it's a beautiful thing. It's an uncomfortable thing, absolutely, but there are times when you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's right. That's exactly
Right?
right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, discomfort fosters growth. You have
Yes.
to have some feeling of discomfort to stretch, to grow. I mean, that's just the rule of nature. You know, it happens with animals. It happens with people. It happens with plants. I mean, there's got to be some discomfort as part of growing. I mean, a
you know
seed. Yeah, go ahead.
there 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 are people who don't want to be uncomfortable. They don't like
Yeah, yeah.
uncomfortable, so they stay away from it. They shy away from it. And if they would only just understand or have an experience where,
Hmm.
yeah, you may have been uncomfortable for a moment, but look at what your return is on the other side once you come away from the uncomfortableness,
Right.
right?
You got to have that forethought.
Which
You
is
got to
why,
have. Hmm.
I do what I do, which is why you and others like us do what we do to help others and to just continue to put positive energy out into this universe,
Hmm.
so there can be a guide, a roadmap, a walking of the hand, if you will, and say, just follow me. Hey, I'm with you on this. No, you're not crazy. We'll
Right.
get through this together.
That's right. That's right. Together. That's right. Yeah, together. Now, one thing you mentioned, Jimmy, that I love is you said it doesn't happen overnight. Okay, this is a process.
Yeah.
So you have these different events that occur where the universe throws up these red flags, and you just go about life, and you don't heed the message, as I say,
Right.
and then you didn't take that off ramp. Okay, I got to kick it to the next level, the universe tells you, and then boom, all the bricks come down, right? And so uh, burning yourself to the core.
To the
You,
core. It's not
it,
halfway. It's
no,
not that you got burnt.
no,
When I say ashes to ashes, dust to dust,
yep,
that is what I mean, brother. And that is a very, very, that's a place that you really don't want to ever go to, ashes
no,
to ashes, dust to dust. But what I
no.
can tell you from coming away from that
Hmm.
area is that you are so much stronger.
Oh yeah,
You're so much
yeah.
stronger. You have your confidence and your belief in yourself because you survived that.
Hmm.
Man, it is
Hmm.
amazing. You know,
Yeah,
I
and
don't
you.
wish that on my
Mhm.
worst enemy to go ashes to ashes, dust to
Right,
dust.
right.
Okay? Because
Hmm.
that ain't a nice place to be in. But
No,
if you ever are there and you just give yourself time, really truly reflect on what you did, not what was done to you. Because sometimes we are our own enemy. Sometimes we
yeah.
sabotage things ourselves.
Right, right. And that's where the accountability comes in,
The
right?
accountability.
You have reflection and
What
accountability.
what did you bring to the table?
Hmm.
And I'm not saying all situations. So let's not get it twisted. I'm not
Right,
talking
right.
about every single situation
Hmm.
that you're always at fault. No.
No, no.
But,
Yeah, sure.
but we can look at situations and say, okay, had I made a better decision here,
Hmm.
then the domino effect may not have been that. And what I mean by that is so that we can just stay on point with this.
Hmm.
Sometimes we see red flags. Sometimes we know that there are certain things being done to us. We're being treated a certain way that
Right,
is not to our liking.
right.
And instead of us doing something about it, we just take it or we make excuses for someone's behavior to us.
Yeah,
That is the type of stuff that I'm talking about.
I got you.
Okay.
I got
If
you.
you know that you're being treated a certain way, talk
Right.
to a certain way, and that's
Yeah.
not the way that you want to be talked to, speak up.
Speak up.
Speak up or make executive decisions that are
Yes.
in your best interest.
Hmm.
That's what I'm talking about.
Incredible. Incredible. And that can't be articulated any clearer, brother. So I appreciate you opening and unpacking that for the listeners. And I'd like to know from your vantage point, because you covered a lot about perspective,
Yeah.
which I thought was beautiful, right? I mean, you woke up and hey, the rest is gravy. I mean, you woke up and sure, you'll have problems and everything, but it could be a lot worse, and man, someone stopped breathing 30 seconds ago. That really shook me, man. I'm like, wow, you know what? Somewhere in this world, someone did. So you offer some very profound, thought-provoking perspectives. And I truly appreciate that, and so do the listeners, man. So I want to know from you, Jimmy. I don't know if anyone's asked you this, because this is kind of a, I'm going to say, an unorthodox
Okay.
question.
Bring
Okay.
it, man. Bring it.
All right. So want to know, what are some of the outward visual cues or visible characteristics that you would be able to see in someone whose vibe has hit its frequency? Is it a pep in their step? Is it, I mean, is there even a visual representation of their characteristics, or is it something you can't see but you feel and receive? I mean, and if there is something physical and visible, what is it?
It's an interesting question because I come from a place of vibes, right?
Hmm.
I come from a place of colors and frequencies,
Hmm.
right? So when I see something, it's in the form of energy, right?
Hmm.
If I had to break it down for someone else, it is it is the attitude of someone. So let's maybe like take it to that level. And what I mean by their attitude is sometimes you hear people say, "Oh, so and so is just always so happy," and they're always smiling, or they always have a giggle in their voice, and those are little physical cues
Yeah.
that if you're not in tune to the vibrational frequency level, then I can say we all know some people who are just so happy all the time. They've
Yeah.
always got positive things to say about anything and everybody,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
They're always there to lend a helping hand in whatever way and not asking for anything in return,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
And no matter what you say to them, they're always happy for you. Like, they don't need you to be happy for them. They're like, "Oh,
Right.
I'm so happy for you. Oh, you
Yeah.
got a new job. Oh, you got a
Yeah.
new car." It's not a competition thing. They're just genuinely happy for you. So
Genuinely.
those are cues that if I wasn't on the awareness of the frequency level like I am,
Mm-hmm.
those are the cues that I could pick up on. So those
Got
are
it.
things that I would say to someone else. We all know people. We all know people,
Yeah.
right? Whether it's family or
Yeah.
some of our elders, or
Yeah.
maybe a coworker, maybe
Mm-hmm.
some of our friends. Like, how many times have we always heard somebody, just say, "Hey, so and so is just always so bubbly that they can talk to anybody," or
Yeah.
just that energy vibe is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But the physical cues would be just they've always got a pleasant comment. They
Yeah.
always have a smile on their face.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
just radiate positive energy and good vibes only.
So it almost seems to me, brother, like it's something intangible
Yeah.
is so powerful that it 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 comes into it transforms into the physical realm
Yes.
of something
Yes.
tangible.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to quote from one of my favorite hip hop groups, Wu Tang Clan.
Oh,
That
okay.
they had a song called Triumph, and
Yep.
I can't remember which one said it, but he said, "Light is provided through sparks of energy."
Mhm.
And then he goes on to say that travels in rhyme form because
Right.
the rhyme and the flow,
Yeah.
right? but
Yeah.
but light is provided through sparks of energy. So the sparks of energy, as you reference, with the bubbly person always smiling, always happy for you, right? They're shining a light on you.
Yes.
They're bright, they're shining their light, they're radiating their vibe. And to me,
Yeah.
that just all comes together full circle the way you explained it.
And in them radiating their vibe, think to yourself, why am I attracted to that?
Yeah.
Why do I always want to be around that person? Why do I always feel so comfortable around that person?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you start to see it in others, you then get inspired to want to feel that way all the time. And then
Yep.
you realize, I have that. I
Hmm.
have that. I need to cultivate it more. I need to become more aware of my own vibe
Yeah.
and my own energy. But the more that you do that, it then becomes second nature. And then
Hmm.
people want to always be around you because you're so happy.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that there are not times when we have things that we're dealing with that might be
Oh
troublesome,
yeah, happens to all
right?
of us. Yeah. Yeah.
But there becomes a level of your vibe to where even when things sometimes are troublesome or you're just not really having a good moment. I don't even say a
Mhm.
good day anymore because I don't let anything bother me all day long,
Well,
right?
no, no.
Right?
Time's
Well, there's
short.
some right. Time is short
Yeah.
and energy is currency, right?
Yep.
There are things that bother me sometimes. I'm human. Put my pants on like everybody else. But
Mhm.
notice what I said. I don't let it bother me all day long.
Right, right.
I'll let it bother me for a moment. I'll figure it out, and then I'm done with it.
Yep.
Back
Move
on my
on.
back on my path. Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
challenge is getting others to become aware of that process, right?
Yeah.
Don't let it bother you all day long. Why? It whatever happened at 9 a.m. and it is 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We need to figure out, okay, here's the problem. Here's a situation. Let's make some decisions as to what we're going to do about it.
That's
And
right.
then it's time to move on.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
time to move on. Energy is currency. And I don't have time to waste. And I want to share with everybody else that you have understand the value of your energy, which is currency. And once you start understanding that, you become very, very protective of your energy and you become selective of who you share your energy with.
Right.
Once that starts to put into motion, and everything else seems to just become a little bit more clearer. Your vibe becomes a little stronger every single day through consistency, baby
Yep.
steps like we talked about in the beginning.
Yep.
And then you start to see how others who are not at your frequency level start to radiate to you. Why? Because you have that same thing that that other person had, and you were gravitated to them and be able to say, you know, so-and-so is always just so happy. And then, you know, they always got a pleasant thing. And then, you know, they
Yeah.
got a giggly laugh, you know,
Yeah.
there you
Yeah.
go. And
I
that's
follow you.
genuine. That's genuine. That's not fake. It's not,
No.
you know, made for TV. It
No.
is, that's just the genuine nature of their vibe. And that vibe is so rare that you're not used to seeing that all the time. I'm trying to get to a point in life through 5 million vibes that we see that more often than we do the rare occasions when we see it, because those rare occasions end up not being appreciated because we don't really know how to deal with it.
No.
We just say, "Oh, so and so is this, so and so is that."
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're bringing the energy to the table that you need and that your energy desires for the inspiration to continue to move forward in a positive, good
Yes.
vibes only way.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes we need the light to guide us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we need the light, and that light comes from the radiation of other people's vibes. But once we see it, once we feel it, once we experience it, and we know it, and we know it's real, man, that's a powerful thing. And that's a powerful motivating factor to say, I want to feel like that all the time.
Oh, for sure, man. And if you start to feel that way because you picked up or someone's vibe cast a light of positive energy on you, and you want to be that, you want to pick up on that, and you pick up on that, then your vibe radiates and shines on someone else. And like you said, a snowball effect, right? It just gains momentum. If we can have something like that happen throughout the entire world, this whole world would be a much better place.
I tell you what. So I did an episode one time, and it was about just paying a compliment,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
what I want to say to you real quick is, if we all just took a moment and just paid somebody a compliment, hey, you look good in that suit.
Right.
Hey, I like how I like what you did with your hair.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
some small recognition of awareness of something else within someone else that has
Hmm.
nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Just compliment someone.
Hmm.
The feeling of doing it and the return on investment, which is seeing how that made them feel. Man, it's powerful, because
Powerful.
the moment that someone says to you one day, you know, I really needed that.
Hmm.
You know, I appreciate you saying that because I really needed that. And
Hmm.
all you did was just pay a compliment.
Right. Right.
And you turned someone's energy and their frequency around from something that maybe they were going through that you didn't even know that they were going through.
That's right. That's right. You could have talked someone off the ledge.
You could have.
You wouldn't
And
know.
and as crazy as that sounds, I've had people email me before, or
Hmm.
they'll make certain comments on social media from something that I may post,
Right.
like a thought of the day or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just a routine thought of the day. I'm putting it out there to my audience, right?
Yeah.
And once in a blue moon, I will get somebody either email me, or they'll IM me, or they'll just say it in a comment. Hey, thank you. I needed that today. You have no
Beautiful.
idea what I was going through. And that was a
Beautiful.
really spark in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Words
Yeah.
are powerful, man. And the more that we understand that and can appreciate that and utilize it in a good way, right?
Yep. Yep.
The world would be a better place, which is why
Mm.
you and I do what we do, which is trying to make the universe more positive and put some good vibes only in this universe, man.
That's exactly what we're trying to
Thank you
do,
for what
brother.
you do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do, and hey, we may be just pebbles in a lake, but that ripple effect, man, that takes
Mhm.
place, can be hugely impactful
Absolutely.
throughout the world. So, Jimmy, I'm going to ask you, brother, if you can please take a reflective path, um,
Mm.
take a reflective walk with me down here, and
Okay.
want to ask you, okay, as you reflect on 87 episodes, 86 episodes, 86, 87 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, all the insights, all the lessons, all the stories from you and your solo episodes and
Mhm.
your amazing guests on positive energy, on having purpose, and all those types of things. If you can condense all of that into one impactful sentence that you want the entire world to know about your message, what would that sentence be?
Very easily, brother. I want you to love yourself. Love yourself enough to radiate your vibe.
Mm,
Plain and
beautiful.
simple.
Love yourself
Yeah,
enough to radiate your vibe. I'm
that's
digging
it.
it, man.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that says it all. I mean, yeah.
Everything else happens from that. That is the core of your vibrational frequency.
Mhm.
Love yourself enough to radiate your vibe.
Mm, thank you, brother. Man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate having you on the show. For all the listeners out there, please run, don't walk, run, okay, to your phone, to your iPad, to your computer, and subscribe and download Jimmy Ivy's Sexy Cool Lounge podcast. He's going to take you on a journey of good vibes and very, very life changing ways that you protect your vibe and that you protect your peace
Yeah.
in a world of chaos. So, man, Jimmy IV, uh, the listeners can also connect with you on sexycoollounge.com. How else can they follow you?
Well, like you said, the website is www.sexycoollounge.com. If you're on social media, you can
Mhm,
always give me a follow at Sexy Cool Lounge on Instagram.
mhm.
I'm on Facebook. You guys are more than welcome to send me a friend request. I will accept it. The more the merrier on the journey. Absolutely. If you have an Alexa, just ask Alexa, hey, play Jimmy IV Sexy Cool Lounge podcast. She'll make it happen for you.
Mhm.
Uh, we are on any one of your favorite podcast platforms, brother. And hey, come on over to YouTube. We are in 2023 now on YouTube. So people can
Oh,
start to
yeah,
see my face just
good.
like they hear my voice now. So I don't know if that ends up being a good thing, but we talked about growth and
Mhm,
for the podcast, since we are now in so many different countries and so many
mm,
different cities worldwide with downloaded episodes, the growth, the exercising of, like you said, the muscles and the wings was to now take it to YouTube. So we now have Sexy Cool Lounge YouTube channel. So catch the vibe and subscribe. And it's been a pleasure, man.
mm.
You've been on my show twice, and
Yes, yes.
one of the things that your listeners don't know, right, is that my very first interview when I decided to become a podcaster, right, was you.
Mm. No, they don't know that. They do now.
The very first, like I had a little small microphone and everything else, and you gave me your time, you gave me your wisdom, you walked me through what it meant to have an interview, and I will always be grateful for that. When I didn't even know what I was doing other than just trying to crawl through the process of being a podcaster, you were there to be like, hey, all right, we'll take this slow and we'll just talk about whatever we want to talk. I mean, you walked me through that process through that very first interview with ease. And I will forever be grateful to you for that, because 86, 87 episodes later, 57 countries,
Mm,
569 cities
yeah.
worldwide with downloaded episodes. And you were my very first, very first. I thank you for that, man. I will always love you as a brother for that. And anything and everything that you ever need from me, my show, you need to promote something, you come on over. It is nothing but just doing what we do, which is just having a conversation and allowing people to enjoy the positive energy and the good vibes only from it. And I, I'm proud to have you in my tribe, and I'm proud to just say that I know you as my brother.
And I'm equally proud, brother. I really am. And I'm honored and humbled that you would ask me to be your first guest.
Yeah.
It was an honor and a pleasure, and like I said, I was the first guest. You got to have a pebble. That pebble has to start somewhere. And so, Aubrey Johnson, the pebble of the Sexy Cool Lounge podcast, first guest. Now there's a ripple effect. 86, 87 episodes later, boom, here you are. And with your
Here we
message and
are.
mission, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
here we are. With your message and mission, brother, I wouldn't I wouldn't expect anything less than for you to be worldwide, because you're on that 5M mission, you
Yes.
know, and that's around the world. So I wouldn't expect anything less from the Sexy Cool Lounge podcast. And you're doing it, brother. You're doing it, and I commend you, and I'm humble that you are part of my world, part of my space. And I just think, both of us in what we're doing, brother, onward and upward. And likewise, anything you need from me, uh, anything, you just reach out and call, and we reciprocate on that.
Only thing I need from you, man, is to keep doing what you do, because you are the only one that can do it the way that you do it. You are very unique, and I love that about you, brother. And I just want you to continue to grow, to learn, and just continue to shine. Like, your audience doesn't know why I wear shades. I wear shades because I want to appreciate other people's burn and their shine in this universe. That is
Hmm.
what it's all about with me. And
Hmm.
to watch you continue to do what you do at the level that you do it at and still grow is a beautiful thing. And I'm happy for you, man. Like, I truly am. So I am just proud of you. Continue to do what you do and continue to lead your audience in the way that you do consistently. And that's all I'll ever ask from you, man, is just to continue stay authentic, stay genuine, stay true to yourself, and allow others to just continue to appreciate your burn in this universe, man, and shine on, man.
Mm. I got 3 words to say on that. Count on it. You can count on it, brother.
You're
You,
welcome, bro.
yeah, you can count on it. All right. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in and listening to this beautiful conversation. And I'm serious. Click on his links. I'm going to have them in the episode show notes for his www.sexycoollounge.com podcast website,
Yeah.
his social mediums, his email address. And you can click on those while listening to this wonderful conversation and get more insight on the Sexy Cool Lounge. Thank you all for tuning in and listening. And by the way, if you have a loved one, a friend, or a colleague who just doesn't seem to be themselves, going through dark days of despair, not sure where to turn or who to turn to, I humbly ask that you please share this show with them, because on the road to rediscovery, there are 2 things we want our listeners to know. Number 1, you're not alone. And number 2, there's always hope. The road to rediscovery, it's a movement, revolution. And guess what? You are now part of it. We're all roadies on this journey of life, and it sure feels good having you on the road with me. Thanks again for listening. We'll chat again soon. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Roads Rediscovery. We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email at roadsrediscoverypodcast@gmail.com and leave us any questions or comments you may have.